Hello and welcome to my review of a game with a stupid name. Seriously, 9 hours, 9 persons, 9 doors? No friggin' wonder everyone just calls it 999. I really hope that title worked better in Japanese. But then again, this is coming from the same company that called a game New Danganronpa V3 Everyone's New Semester of Killing. 999 was released in 2009, sensing a theme here, for the Nintendo DS. It was developed by Chunsoft before they merged with Spike. Is that why it feels like a Danganronpa prototype? Not hating, I'm just saying the game's about people trapped in a location and some of them die after being told by a mysterious mastermind that they can escape if they play the game and win. No wait, I'm getting ahead of myself. The PC version of the game I'm playing is a remake that came in Zero Escape the Nonary games, which also includes the sequel. Haven't played that yet though, so no spoilers please. The remake was released in 2017 on PS Vita, PS4, and PC, continuing the tradition Danganronpa started of telling platforms that don't start with a P to fuck off, I guess. So, I never played this game on DS, but according to the Zero Escape wiki, this is the best version to play because it has voice acting, it's HD, there's new features, and all that good stuff. So yeah, if you want to witness 9 people having a crippling lack of fashion sense and as high quality as possible, play this version. Our story begins with our protagonist Junpei waking up in a room with no memory of how he got there. He discovers that the door is locked and that he's on a boat of some kind. He's also got a bracelet on his wrist with the number 5 on it that he can't remove. And if that weren't bad enough, the window in the room starts leaking and if Junpei doesn't escape, he'll drown. Conveniently though, the room is full of puzzles that when solved will allow him to escape. And that right there is the whole point of the game. Escape rooms. Also a story about people trying to survive in a crazy situation. But hey, if you only care about the story, you can just play the iOS version. Or, watch a Let's Play. Or my live streams. Seriously though, they made a version of a game about escape rooms that didn't have any room escaping in it. But speaking of those people trying to survive in a crazy situation, it's about time we met them. Once Junpei escapes the room, he makes it to the upper deck and runs into 8 other people who also have numbered bracelets. It turns out they were all kidnapped by a dude in a gas mask. Then they hear a voice from someone called Zero on a loudspeaker explaining that they are playing the Nonary game, and they have to escape by finding a door marked with a 9. Also, they only have 9 hours to find it, and if they fail, the ship will sink and everyone on board will drown. Yikes. But introductions are in order, right? Unfortunately, everyone is secretive about their real names for safety's sake, so they decide to make up code names to call themselves based on the number they have. Except Junpei, because the girl with the number 6 bracelet was his childhood friend and said his name out loud. Which is fine, because Junpei is so dense that he probably wouldn't have come up with a good code name anyway.
Alright, I'm gonna be Santa. Any of you chumps know Japanese? No? Well, san means 3, so I'll be Santa.
So, in order, we have Ace, Snake, Santa, Clover, Junpei, June, Seven, Lotus, and the 9th man. Now, you may have looked at these characters and immediately thought, what are their ultimate talents? But I remind you, this is not Danganronpa. And besides their apparent special ability to share vague expositional anecdotes at seemingly inappropriate times, most of them could compete for the title of Ultimate Asshole. Except Snake. He's best guy. Who's best girl, you may wonder? No one is. Hey, don't look at me like that, it's true. She's too young, she's a bitch, and she thinks the Titanic sank because of an ancient Egyptian curse. Nobody wins here. But anyway, like the title of the game proclaimed, there are 9 doors, each marked with a number. How do you get through them? With math. See, only 3 to 5 people can go through a door, but the digital root of their numbers must equal the number on the door. What the squid-leveling hell is a digital root? Well, you add the numbers together, and if the sum has more than 1 digit, you add the digits together. Like, say 6 plus 7 plus 8 equals 21, you'd then add 2 and 1 together to get 3. If you're confused, don't worry, because the game makes a habit of explaining this over and over and over again. The numbers are checked by a scanner next to the door, and if they equal the right digital route, the door opens for 9 seconds. But everyone who opened the door must pass through it and check in on the scanner on the other side of the door. And if they don't, they explode. But enough about the story that Danganronpa may have ripped off. Let's talk escape rooms. So, you know those Flash escape room games you played as a kid? Well, it's nothing like that, because these aren't fucking impossible. Also, they're made by people who know how to make a real game. When you start an escape room, you'll be given a bird's eye view of the area. Then you can move around the room by using the arrows. You can collect objects and solve puzzles to find your way out. You can also combine certain objects together. If any of this seems difficult, don't worry. The other characters will give you hints for puzzles, and there's an in-game calculator if any of this math shit catches you off guard. The escape rooms are fine, maybe a bit confusing, but if you really get into them, you might be annoyed by the other characters interrupting the fun to talk about whatever. I mean, sure, it ties into the story, and once it's all over, you can be like, oh, that's why they were talking about that. But the conversations the characters have seem to be forced in unnaturally, especially considering the fact that they'll talk about bizarrely specific things that don't seem to have any relevance to the situation at hand. How come Junpei is never like, cool story, but we really don't have time to be talking about this, we're all gonna be dead soon, maybe tell me after we escape? It's actually canon to the story that these people waste over an hour standing around and talking, and if you hear them talk about anything scientific, it's probably total bullshit. But I'm sure the thing you'll get hung up on is which doors to go through. Every time a door opens, the game shows a cutscene of it opening. These cutscenes made me kind of anxious, maybe that was the intent, because most of the time it just opens to show a black nothingness. I keep thinking something's gonna pop out of the doorway.
It's time to stop! It's time to stop, okay? No more!
But yeah, it doesn't matter which doors you choose. At first. Because guess what? This game has multiple endings, and none of them are canon except one. And you only get to see that if you play through all of them. So first go round, just do whatever. Now, the good news is, you don't have to replay the whole game just to see the other endings. Apparently that was an issue with the DS version. This version of the game has a flow that allows you to skip to different parts of the story and make different choices. And I'd just like to say that on my first playthrough, I made all the wrong choices and mostly ended up with the characters I liked least. But looking back on it, I'm kind of glad I did, because it meant I got those parts of the game out of the way early on. I'm the sort who likes to save the best for last. Getting most of the endings is as easy as just picking different routes, but if you get stuck trying to get a certain one, just check a guide, because I promise you, the only way you'll get it on your own is by complete accident. Speaking of guides, if you do use one, make sure it's for the remake, because the final puzzle is different from the DS version. It also sucks ass, by the way, can't tell you why because spoilers, but just be aware that it does, in fact, suck ass. But without giving too much away, I have some problems with these endings. You'd think once you go through all the routes and get the true ending, everything will be wrapped up and all questions would be answered. No, not entirely. There are some mysteries that are just straight up ignored. There's a character whose real name is never revealed, and the true ending itself is pretty inconclusive. I guess I'll have to play the sequel to get some more answers, but I've been told the sequel is barely connected to this game, so maybe I can just believe whatever ending I want is canon. 999 is a fairly good game. The story kept me invested enough to want to play through all the endings, and it had some fun puzzles too. It's certainly not Danganronpa, but it's worth playing. Well, it's nice to get back to reviewing after that bizarre detour I took into how-to videos. If I had one more complaint about the game, though, it's that its fandom is pretty small. Like, less than 500 fanfics on AO3 small. And yeah, I've seen way worse, but for a series like this, I kind of hoped there'd be more of a community for it. Oh well, I guess we're done here. So if you want to see what's next, subscribe, and the next review will be posted soon. I promise. And thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.